Tell you, I tried every single flight to get from New York City to Dallas to be on the show. Finally, the NBA, you know, I'm in town to play in this NBA Celebrity All-Star game. I'm not much of an all-star, but they,
yes, you are.
But they arranged for a plane for all the players to get down here because no one could get down to the All-Star game. It was crazy, but I made it. I'm here.
You know what's amazing?
The doctor.
The players can't get in here.
Right.
Can't get into Dallas. But they did a story about the working women.
The entertainment is here.
They estimated 50,000
Are
in town.
Somebody been on your plane, actually.
I'll tell you, the fun part is sitting in the last row next to a bunch of NBA players.
Oh my gosh!
A bunch of guys who are 6'10", 6'9", and he crunched back there with me.
You look like the little guy on the plane.
I was.
Right?
We were all little guys.
We are all big fans of the show, Dr. Oz.
Thank you.
You've got an amazing approach to health, and it works.
Well, it's fun for me to talk about health. You know, I've always had a passion for understanding how things worked, and so when I was going through med school, I thought, geez, we make this stuff boring. We make it tedious, make it scary to people. And if folks understood the exact same reasons we go into medicine, which is so cool to understand how your body functions, they blow it out. They learn a lot about it. They stay on top of it, and they become world experts on their bodies. You're talking about those thick, big U-books.
Your manuals?
The manuals, right? The reason we wrote those things with cartoons and caricatures and used metaphors, because, you know, human beings learn through stories. The Bible's in stories for a reason, because we get it, we understand it. We can put ourselves in the place of what's going on. We make that decision on purpose to tell the story of the body because it makes it accessible to folks.
You know when you got me? When you came on to Oprah and you did the poop show. That
got you
changed my life.
Oh,
the poop show changed my life.
not one of my favorites.
I know. But because you did take different parts of the body and you showed us what a good one looks like as opposed to a bad one and what you should be looking for. And I'm telling you, Tom, I don't care. I'm telling you, it changed my life. And not to mention my eating habits.
Dr.
But
and Oprah, they don't do a morning
yes, they do.
radio show where people are trying to have breakfast.
You got your nerve talking about the breakfast rule. But I'm telling you, just the way that you bring it and you break it down for us, I really think it's just something that we haven't had in a very long time.
When you're kind, you know, Ms. Whitford, little inside baseball here, she will always find a way of getting back to that poop stuff. Every
See?
show.
I'm telling you.
We may cut it out of the final show, but she'll get there and she'll wink at me and she'll lean on me a little bit. You know, I was a little boy growing up, and my parents were Turkish. There were some cultural things you did differently about the way you went to the bathroom, and I never understood why we didn't talk about it more, because it was so cool to understand how you can take care of things ranging from hemorrhoids to feeling all stopped up inside, and people didn't realize because they were so embarrassed, and that was one of the big breakthroughs. When I began to realize that most of the important things you need to know about, your parents probably should have talked to you about when you were age 5. Think about that. Either your parents might have gotten it wrong, because they were never told how to do it, or you may have forgotten what they told you. But your whole life you're walking around not knowing about how the basics of the body works, including how you go to the bathroom, but lots of other things as well. We have problems now ranging from depression, where we don't appreciate that it's really a wake-up call to us. And I know it can be pretty profound and pretty painful, but if you run away from it and just medicate it and numb yourself to it, that's a problem. Same goes for sexual activity. And of course, all the important things, heart disease, all these factors come up over and over again because you don't understand the subtlety and how cool it is about how the body works.
My grandfather graduated from Harry and was a medical doctor. And this is a very, very long time ago. And he used to, he really turned me off from being a medical profession, because he was old school. He did stuff by taste and smell. Okay, before you had all this research and medicine, my grandfather would smell your urine, smell your,
Yeah, very effective. You know, we did this big show at Oprah last week on diabetes.
Oh my God, that was powerful.
Yeah, and that show was very effective. We got millions of people screened and tested to see if they had sugar. But especially in the African American community, that's what we're talking about with Oprah. It's people make light of it. It's a little bit of sugar. We'd smell the sugar in the urine. We still do that today, by the way. If I see a diabetic and they go to the bathroom a lot, I'll smell it to see if there are ketones in it. It has sort of a fruity smell to it. You don't want to taste it. But
smell.
But one of the challenges we have across the board is folks write off some of these things that they feel. So I mean, how many of you heard the word a little sugar?
Right.
I mean, it's a little sugar because those little pieces of sugar are like shrapnel, scraping the delicate lining, the thin Teflon lining of your arteries, and they scrape away that lining. You got to fix it with what the body has as plaster. The body's plaster is called cholesterol. That's how you get heart disease.
And then you're showing that last week. That, I mean, you bringing it, and breaking it down for us.
And
this is really good
our
stuff.
African American community disproportionately suffers from diabetes, heart disease, and you have a particular interest in serving the underserved, or informing the underserved.
Yeah, years ago, and I practiced medicine at New York Presbyterian Columbia, so it's in Spanish Harlem. It's a part of the country where you've got a very diverse set of folks, very smart, insightful people, worked hard to get to this country, but there are, not always running the big businesses. They're the guys who are in the bottom. And I saw the ravages that not being able to get access to high-quality food, exercise, and even some of the insights they need to live their best life. And this came up, I tell you once, I was doing an Oprah show. Very into the shows. This is before Oprah told me to go off and do the Dr. Oz shows. Every other week I go on the show and I do this prescription for America. So this one time I said, okay, Oprah, I'm going to tell everyone to have 100% whole grain foods. Right? So I go out there and say that. We got dozens of people writing in angrily saying, I can't find 100% whole grain foods. And I realized we got to change the culture so we make it easy to do the right thing. 40% of African American boys and girls born this decade are going to be diabetics. 40%, think about that.
Yeah.
This is put in perspective. Right now we're more like 15%. So it hurts minority populations for a couple of reasons. One, there's more stress in the lives of many of these kids. They can't find their path in life. That actually changes a lot of the factors that rust away the arteries of the body. But also they can't find the foods, even if they wanted to eat the right stuff.
Well, look, Mom is working 2 jobs,
Yep.
and she's got $1 to spend,
Yep.
and she can stretch that dollar much further at a fast food restaurant than she can trying to make a trip over to Whole Foods, which isn't in our community.
Exactly right. Now here's what I think is the opportunity though. You vote every time you pull your pocket out. You're making a decision that's going to drive someone else to make a different decision. What we've been trying to do, and we have this foundation called Health Corps, by the way, which is like the Peace Corps, but instead of sending these bright, energetic college graduates off to Botswana to build dams, we have them work in urban areas especially, but underserved areas, and help kids appreciate how cool it is to understand their bodies. So they mentor these kids. One of the things we have these activist kids do is to go into stores and say, listen, we're going to get the community to start buying these kinds of foods. If you can bring in some fresh fruits and vegetables, bring in some 100% whole grains, have them make the right decisions, and it'll actually drive businesses to change behaviors. Now, that's part of the equation. We have to do some other things at the national level as well. But I think at the end of the day, we as a population have to say, listen, the most valuable asset we have is our health. You cannot be a wealthy country if you're not a healthy country.
That's what the First Lady was saying this week.
The other day.
She's absolutely all over this, and she's right. And we are mortgaging our nation's future if we don't address these issues. But I can tell you, I'm a heart surgeon. That's my day job when I'm not doing a Dr. Oz show. And I go in the hospital once a week and I operate on folks, and I see the difference.
You operate on Thursdays.
Operate on Thursdays.
Yes.
Very good. Very good.
I tell you, I'm a Dr. Oz fan.
Well, you're very kind. But I tell you, I go in there and I do this day in and day out, and I see folks coming from underserved communities. Their problems are a lot more devastating. And it's unfair to them. And Martin Luther King said this, that the biggest health disparity of all is where prejudice occurs.
Dr. Oz and the Dr. Oz Show, here on the Tom Joyner Morning Show. Thank you, Doc.
Greatly honored. I love you guys.
All right, man.
Oh, can you give me an autograph for our member of our family, Lou Calhoun? I'm a big fan. She's big.
I promise you I love it.
Yes, the awards attending HBCU. The flight just might